host, The Big O. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the O Show, yeah, it's a very special episode. We have the one and only Dr. Martin Luther King, along with his mother. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely, the one and only Miss King, everybody! Welcome to the show, Miss King.
Thank you.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you
Thank
on
you
the
for
show.
having me.
It really is.
Thank you.
I mentioned you look beautiful today. You really do.
Thank you.
You look stunning.
Thanks.
You look sexy, Miss King.
Thanks.
Just wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and jump right into questions right now.
Okay.
Did you ever think that your child, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who we're going to have on the show later on today, was going to be such a big influence and actually change American history as we know it?
Yes, from the beginning I knew he was going to be a very successful man.
From the beginning?
Yes.
What made you think that?
I don't know, he's just an amazing kid and he followed the rules. He stood up for what he believed in.
He was black back when there was segregation, so I find that hard to believe, but you know. So tell us, Miss King, a significant event of Martin Luther King Jr.'s childhood.
Well, when he was in elementary school, he really wanted to go on a slide, but there was a little white boy that would not let him, so he asserted his rights on the bully, and the bully started crying and ran away. That's what happened.
That's a lovely story.
Yeah.
What happened to Martin Luther King after that? Did he get sent home?
Oh yeah, he got in trouble and got sent home. He never really actually got to ride the slide like he wanted to, so that was kind of sad. But at least he stood up for himself.
Injustice, even in the playground. Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
So, thank you very much, Ms. King, for being on the show. It was honestly a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciated it.
Thank you very much, Ms. King. Up next on the O Show, we have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the O Show, the one and only, the leader of the civil rights movement, the man himself, the most charismatic man in all sports entertainment, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Welcome to the O Show. Thank you so much for being on the O Show, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Believe me, it is a pleasure to have you here on the O Show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. If you don't mind, I'm going to jump right into questions. Okay. You were the leader of the civil rights movement. Now that's huge. You understand that, right?
Correct.
Tell me, Dr. King, who inspired you to lead such a movement?
Well, two great influences were Mohandas K. Gandhi and Thoreau, because not only were they fighters, but also writers, you know. Starting off with Gandhi, his belief of Satyagraha, the nonviolent movement, and Thoreau, with his belief that government could be perverted by anyone, it made me get my own belief that, and my own belief would be that an unjust law is no law at all.
I agree with that 110%. Thank you. Earlier on the show, we had your mother. She told us about a situation when you stood up to a kid on the playground because you felt segregated against. Please, tell us, if you can remember, what was going on in your mind at the time? What were you feeling? What were you thinking when the kid was just not letting me have a turn on the slide? It was as simple as that.
Well, truthfully, I do remember, and I felt it was improper. I felt something was wrong. But white people didn't look at it that way for some reason. They looked at me, as a matter of fact. They looked at me like I was the attacker. That day, I didn't even get to ride the slide, and I got sent home. And, well, my mom couldn't say anything because it wasn't my fault. I was just fighting for what I wanted.
Injustice at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Now, with that being said, How do you think your background shaped the way you write?
Well, I mean, my parents, they lived in racist times. Seeing how they got segregated against, like, I believe that's the correct term.
Yes, it is.
I mean, that event where the fire department, the people, the white men, turned on the fire hoses on us. It really made me see that something was wrong.
Right.
That our people, I believe that we're all human and equal at the same time.
That led you to write because you wrote against what was being wrong, right?
Correct.
And you stood up for what you saw, and you said something's gotta give you, right?
That's correct.
Beautiful. Now you're a man who obviously wrote many speeches, and you fall under the category of romanticism. What do you think makes you a romantic writer, Dr. King?
Romanticism. I really wouldn't call myself romanticism. But if I'm labeled as a romantic writer, I would say it's because the greatest reason would be because I'm a dreamer.
Right.
And I made people believe different ideals. Ideals that can not only change social stability, but the world.
Right. And that's perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. And one of your more famous speeches that you wrote, you wrote it from an Alabama jail. You spoke about why you were in jail. I know you have it on paper, but can you tell us a little more in person how you felt that there was injustice going on in that time? What were you arrested for?
I was arrested for parading without a permit,
Right.
if I remember correctly. Yes. And I was okay with it, because I've always said that if someone is meant to break a law, he must do it openly and lovingly.
Right. And willing to accept consequences, right? Am I okay? Thank you. And we're gonna close up the show right now with this final question. We're gonna look into the camera right now. If you could give any advice to any kid in the future, what would you tell him?
Fight for your rights. That's practically it.
Thank you very much for being on the show, Doctor. Thank you, everybody, for the show tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.